So finally, I was able to get to the theater to see the Batman. I've been dying to see this for the past few days. All my friends already seen it. So I was finally able to get a very early showing and see the Batman. What did I think? Well, we're going to talk about that right here, right now. Hey, everybody. I am Robert Storms. Welcome back to the channel once again. If you guys are finding me for the very first time, please do me a massive favor. Hit that like button, the thumbs up button, that button. Hit that and subscribe for all future content here on the channel. So I've been hearing some mixed reviews on this thing. And I went in kind of like excited, but also kind of going in with mediocre expectations just because I didn't want to get let down. Did the Batman let me down? Was I excited for no reason? That is the question. Did Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves let me down with this new iteration of the Batman? Well, it didn't let me down. I mean, I knew what I was getting. Look, you have to know what you're getting when you're going to see this movie. You know, it's a Matt Reeves movie. Have you guys not watched his Planet of the Apes films? It's a very slow burn, slow pace type of movie. Matt Reeves come out and said, we're giving you a detective noir style Batman, and that's what they delivered on. That's exactly what they delivered on. It's a 3-hour slow pace, slow burn, slow build up. The key word here, guys, if you guys haven't noticed, is slow. It is slow. Some people are coming out and they're like, oh, I was so bored, blah, 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 blah. I was not bored. I was anything but bored in this movie. Like, I'm sitting there like, I'm trying to figure out what the hell the Riddler is doing. And that's the one thing I loved about this movie, was that for the first time ever, we get to see Batman be the world's greatest detective. You know, we keep hearing about Batman as a detective. You know, Christopher Nolan tried to do some of that. Nah. This was Batman being a detective. He's on the crime scenes. He's with Gordon. He's trying to figure out the clues. We get to see how his mind worked. It felt like a Sherlock Holmes type of movie, and I liked that. I'm trying to figure out what the hell is the Riddler's plan. Like, what is the Riddler's plan? Like, he's leaving these, clues and stuff, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what's his end game? You know, what's his sole purpose of doing all this? You know, what is going on? And that's what I like about the movie, is you're trying to figure out why all this chaos is happening, why the Riddler is just involved in creating this chaos, and what was his purpose, what's his motives. And each clue, you kind of start to figure out more and more of the puzzle. But the best part about this movie is you feel like Gordon and Bruce in this movie, and you're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. So I like it. They finally delivered on the detective aspect of Batman that we've all heard that they're trying to do, but they never do. You know, Christopher Nolan's like, yeah, we're going to do detective work. He does like this thing with a cell phone, and that's it. You know, it's like we never got to see the detective Batman up until now. You know, and kind of going back on one thing with this movie was Christopher Nolan's movie really delivered a more realistic Batman than we have ever seen. Not so much a dark, grittier. It was more, it was more based in the real life world, where at that time, I'm like, oh man, this is like what happened if Batman was in real life, And that kind of changed, a little bit as the series went on. Some things just kind of got unrealistic. Matt Reeves' Batman feels like something would have happened in real life. Like, this feels like legit real life. And that is just insane. One of the biggest questions a lot of people had, including me, was how was Robert Pattinson as Batman? And how was he as Bruce Wayne? Because a lot of people were saying, oh, he's just like so miserable all the time. He doesn't smile. He doesn't play up to that playboy type persona that Bruce Wayne has. He's always pouting. It's like, yeah, guys, he's only been Batman for 2 years. This dude has seen some shit. Trust me, I felt the same way working at Walmart for a few years. You get to the point where life is just sucked out of you. Like, he goes on telling you guys, like, yeah, I've been doing this for 2 years. Things aren't getting any better. I'm kind of at the end of my ropes. He is disconnected from life. And so, like, I don't understand, like why does people want, like, Bruce Wayne to come out and just be like, yeah, I'm fucking that bitch. I'm riding that car. I'm riding that bitch. To me, that persona of Bruce Wayne never really made sense. And in the case of this movie, it really doesn't make sense because he's only 2 years into his role as Batman, so much so that even Alfred is questioning, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this doesn't make any sense. You're Bruce fucking Wayne. You need to go out there and be a part of civilization, you know, to stand for what your parents stood for and all that stuff. And Bruce is like, no, I am going out at night. I am fighting crime. You know, I am vengeance. And to me, I thought what Matt Reeves was trying to deliver with that message, it came across absolutely perfectly. It's like, here's the Batman, here's the Bruce Wayne who is absolutely damaged and only wants one thing: to make crime pay, to be vengeance. And that's what he delivers on. So all these people that are like, oh man, I wanted this like cheery persona of Bruce Wayne, like look, if you want that persona, there are other movies, other animated movies, other shows, other content out there of that persona of Bruce Wayne. Matt Reeves delivers, I feel like, a real life aspect if this actually exists. Another couple things I want to kind of touch on in this review is some of the side characters. Zoe Kravitz, for one, being Catwoman, Selena Kyle, I thought she was really, really well done. A lot of people are like, this is the best Catwoman ever, you know, and she's good. She's great. I think she's definitely the best Selena Kyle. Like, by far, she's the best Selena Kyle. Is she the best Catwoman overall? I don't know, guys. I just got out of the movie about 15 minutes ago. I haven't really had the chance to process and start a ranking on who's the best Catwoman. Sorry, I just haven't done that yet. There's a lot of different iterations of Catwoman. I think Zoe brings a new take to it that does feel very, very comic accurate. I like the way she portrayed the character, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Where she stacks up with the rest of the Catwoman, look, a lot of people like to come out of movies, and they like to have this honeymoon phase when movies, like, as soon as they get out of movies, they're like, that's the best thing I've ever seen. You know, Black Widow came out, that's the best thing. You know, Shang-Chi comes out, that's the best thing. And then when you actually let stuff marinate for a while, you're like, you know what, it was great, it just wasn't the best. You know, I was on that honeymoon phase with that movie. You know, I just got out of the movie like 15, 20 minutes ago, and I know I enjoy the movie. Where the movie ranks, I don't know. That's for time to tell. Where Zoe Kravitz ranks as Catwoman, I don't know. I just seen the movie. I will just tell you this: her performance was excellent. She was a great Selena Kyle, and she was a great Catwoman, very comic accurate. Now let's get on to Paul Dano, because I haven't heard much about this guy. This guy steals the show. Paul Dano steals the show. Like, this dude is psychotic. Like, you don't get to see much of him in the beginning, but man, there's a scene toward the end where he is talking to Batman. This is no spoilers. There is a scene at the end where he is talking to Batman one-on-one, and Paul Dano, like, he flips a switch, and you're like, this dude is nuts. Like, this dude's insane, right? Like, it is a great performance, and he's just like he's just acting like an insane mental serial killer, which he is in the movie, but it never got to the point where it was like corny or like riddle me this, riddle me that, ha ha ha. You know, even you look at some of the Nolan characters, right? Whether it be Ra's al Ghul, of course, Heath Ledger's Joker. Then you can go to like Bane by Tom Hardy. You know, all those characters were great, and they were fantastic. Heath Ledger being the cream of the crop. I think Paul Dano is right up there because he is like methodical throughout this movie. He doesn't really do much because he's behind that mask, and he's starting to do all the killings, leaving the riddles and stuff. But when he actually starts to develop and you start to know more about this character, and he has that one-on-one scene with Bruce, like, holy shit, the performance by Paul Dano. It's just like, this dude is one of the best actors in Hollywood. You know, he's not the best, but one of the best. Any of his movies you watch him in, he's fantastic in. And his performance with Bruce, like, oh my God, like, dude, I'm sitting there thinking, like, this dude is fucking nuts, and he delivers it so well, so very well. There's a lot of supporting characters within this movie, whether we talk about Colin Farrell, who plays the Penguin, who is very unrecognizable, and Colin Farrell does a really good job, and I'm really curious to see what they do with his HBO Max series. But another thing that a lot of people don't really talk about, and I know why people aren't talking about this, and that is Andy Serkis as Alfred. Like, I kept asking people, like, well, how is Andy Serkis as Alfred? I haven't heard anybody talk about Andy Serkis as Alfred. Like, how was he? Like how does he stack up, you know? And I didn't hear any of that. And the reason why is because he's only in the movie for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm not trying to spoil anything for you guys, but he is barely in this movie. A little bit in the beginning, a little bit in the middle, and that's about it. This is a Gordon Bruce Wayne movie. This is Gordon and Batman mixed with Selena Kyle, Paul Dano's Riddler. It's their movie. It's those four movies. There's other characters like Falcone and all that stuff on the side, but the main story is trying to figure out what the hell this puzzle is, what's going on with Bruce Wayne's past, and Alfred really takes a back seat to a lot of that. And it's fine. It's okay. I don't really mind because I was so focused on the investigation and this murder mystery that was going on that I was absolutely fine with that. A lot of this movie, to me, feels like it was inspired by the Jeff Johns Batman Earth 1 comic book novels, the graphic novels. There was 3 of them at the time. We had the first one, which was very involved with Penguin. Then the second one was Riddler, and it really felt like they really took inspiration from those comics and brought them into a life. There's a lot of inspiration within this movie for sure. I'm not saying it's strictly based on Earth 1, Volume 1 and Volume 2, but I see hints of that. Stuff like Thomas Wayne running for mayor, or the way Riddler is portrayed as a serial killer. All that was in the comic books in Earth 1. So I noticed I've been rambling for a while now, mostly because there's so much to talk about in this movie. I guess it comes down to this. In closing, if you're a Batman fan, you're going to want to see this movie. Is it long? Yes, it's long. Is it slow? Yes. If you're someone who doesn't like long, slow-paced, slow burn type movies, you're going to find this absolutely boring. But if you are someone who likes storytelling and character development and these mysteries and a slow burn type films, you're going to find this movie very enjoyable. I don't think it's the best Batman movie ever, but I think it's let me rephrase that. I don't think it's my favorite Batman movie ever, but I think it's the best Batman movie so far. And what I mean by that is I can easily say I think Batman Begins is still my favorite Batman movie. I just love that film. I think it's the perfect Batman film, but I think this movie is probably the best Batman film. And what I mean by that is, to me, this is the first time we actually see Batman the way he is portrayed in the comic books. We get to see the detective. We get to see the mysteries and him solving stuff. Catwoman is the most comic accurate Catwoman that we had on screen yet. Batman does what Batman does. Gordon, the relationship between them, being partners, solving crime. To me, I feel like it's the most comic book accurate type of Batman we have ever gotten on screen in terms of grabbing the essence of what that character is. I don't know if it's my favorite. I'm still leaning toward Batman Begins, but like I said, I just got out of the movie about 15 minutes ago. I still need to get this thing to process. This is going to be a movie I see over and over and over again, and it's going to be something that I constantly go back to. So anyway, guys, that's all I have. I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to leave those comments in the comment box below. Smash that like and subscribe button. Also, guys, please jump over right now to my new channel. I have a new channel dedicated just to gaming, and it's called Robert Storms Gaming. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. I can only do that with your help. Please, guys, even if you're not into video games, please just show your support. Go over there and just subscribe to the channel. I'm not asking you to watch anything. I'm just asking you to please just simply help me out and go over there and please subscribe to my new gaming channel. Help me get to my goal of 1,000 subscribers. I would appreciate that so very much. The link will be in the description box below, as well as a pinned comment. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that is my opinion.